Hi everyone, it's Vicky. Today I want to show you how I've made these roses. So this one is attached to a little pin, so you can pin it onto things. And then this one, I haven't attached a pin yet. I thought it might be quite nice on a journal cover, or I don't know, haven't decided yet. But today I'm going to make a yellow rose, but I wanted just to show you how to do the petals to start with. So you need a flame, and this is some satin fabric. So I've got it folded so there's 4 pieces of fabric, and I kind of use my thumb as a guide, a roundish shape. It doesn't have to be perfect, because as you melt the edges, try not to get it in that flame, as you melt the edges it sort of sorts itself out. So there is my 4 petals, and you just wave it through the flame like that. Once you get a bit practiced at it, you'll figure out how to get those black burn marks or to avoid them. I quite like them. I think they just give a bit of interest. And so what I've done there, I've gone all the way around the edges. Every edge is sealed, so there's no loose threads. So there's some petals made, but as I said, I'm not going to make an orange rose today. I've got some yellow here. That's how you make the petals. And you can see all my yellow petals. So I've made different flowers over the years. I've done it where you layer different fabrics, and there's some net in there, and I've done it where you kind of layer, and then you put something in the middle. And this time I am sewing all the petals onto a little round piece of fabric. So the fabric I'm using is micro fleece. It's a very thin polar fleece. You can also use felt. Again, I'm using my thumb as a measurement. However big you make this, that will be how big your flower is. So that one might be a bit too big. Maybe I'll make it a bit smaller. There we go. And I've got a needle with some white thread, and there's a knot on the end. The knot, I'm going to leave the knot at the back because you won't see it. I'm going to do 1 stitch just to secure it. Now I'm going to use these are made of lining. They're just a lovely warm, feels like a sunshine yellow, and I'm doing just 2 or 3 stitches per petal to secure it, and I'm going around the edges, and I'm using the big petals. As I get closer to the middle, I will use smaller petals. And if the petals look a bit out of shape, it's fine, because it all comes together at the end. So you can see I'm not really worried about my stitching. All the stitching will be hidden, and all you're doing is going around and securing your petals. Let's find another big one. There's some big ones. So going around the edges. There's another one there, and I'm overlapping my petals just a little bit. This is just going to be that first layer of big petals. Let's find another big one. One's curling a bit. So I'm not gathering anything. I'm just securing them to the back. And I could, now you can see there's a little bit of a gap there. So now I'm just going to start my next layer, and I'm just going to go around again. I'm going a little bit in front of the previous row of stitches, so now I can use that bent one. I'll use it there. Don't stab yourself. The satin makes a firmer rose. This makes a more soft rose. And that looks like my second round of petals. So I'm going to do another round, and I think I'm going to need to thread my needle quite soon with some more thread. I'm going a bit smaller with the petals now, but if you use the same size petals the entire way, it's also fine. But if you have got a mixture of sizes, which does end up happening because you have made them yourself, and unless you're using a die to cut them, you will end up with some smaller ones. If you have got smaller petals, then just save them for the middle sections. I think I can do one more, and then I need to thread my needle again. Okay, when I get to the back, I'm just going to make a little knot 2 times, and I'm going to cut it off. So my needle is threaded, and I can probably do about 2 more rounds. So I'm just going to pull it from the back again, leave that little knot at the back. I'll do 1 stitch in and out to anchor it. And then I can start with my next round of petals. Let's see if we can get a bit smaller. I don't know if you can see, but as I'm doing this, I'm trying to cover up the gap from the previous row's 2 petals. So I'll show you what I mean now. Where the previous row had 2 petals, I'm putting that one across the middle of those, so it makes it look fuller. Sometimes you can't, which is also fine, but if you can do that, then that's good. In the last round, I'm going to put 3 little petals together because I thought that looked very sweet on the last one that I made. So I'm just going to put them there like that, and I'm just going to sew all 3 together. Okay, so there is my rose. It's quite large. I'm going to move all these aside and then we can put some beads in the middle. So I've got some pearly beads in here. And I put 7 because they're quite little. Make sure they're facing upwards so you don't see that little hole. But these are seed beads, they're not pearls. And they are little, but they're not so little. It doesn't have measurements on it. But some seed beads are minute, and these are not the minute ones. You can see on my needle they're quite a nice size. So I'm doing 1 in the middle, and then I'm going to do 6 all the way around. And that one's twisting a little bit. Right, so there's my 7 in the middle. Now I've got these beads. Some of them don't fit on my needle, so it might take a little while to get through these. And I put these in between just to add some sparkle. So these are like little cylinder beads. I can't remember the name of them, but they're like little tubes. I'll try to bring it closer to you so you can see. They're like little tubes. And they've got a bit of sparkle on them. Let's see if that one fits. That one fits. Some of them don't go over the eye of my needle. I've got another needle, a beading needle, but I'm just wanting to use this one needle for the whole project. And so I filled around those center beads. Now I'm going to fill up some spaces in the middle, and even if there is no space in the middle, find a bead that fits. Even if there is no space in the middle, you can sort of pile them up on top of each other so they look like they're encrusted. So my flower is done. It looks amazing. It looks so big. I'm going to knot the threads at the back. Don't worry about the messy looking back. Then I'm going to cut another little circle out of here, but out of this is that fleece. But now I'm not going to cut it the same size as that. I'm going to cut it a bit smaller, and I'll show you. I'm cutting it thinner, so this is more of an oval shape. I'm cutting it thinner. So this one I used a hot glue gun, and I glued down my pin, and then I glued this little piece of fabric over the top like that. But today I'm going to sew that on, and then I'm going to use this glue, which is a bit like Beacon 3-in-1, and I'm going to use that to glue this on. So I've knotted my thread, and it's very messy under here, don't look. And I'm going to sew on my brooch. Brooches or pins come with these little holes on them, so you can use that to sew through. If it doesn't come with holes, you can just sew over that bar at the back. And I'm going to go from one side, and I'm going to go and do the second hole from the other side. It's a bit fiddly. And then I'm going to go underneath, and I'm going to do the third one from the other side. That's quite stable, and the glue is also going to hold it down, and then I will knot this thread. All these stitches are going to be covered up by the glue, so if they look really messy, don't stress. Okay, there's a few random ones that I'm going to trim. Alright, now I'm going to put this one over. Okay, this glue comes out really fast, so I've got it like that. I'm going to peel up one side. I'm going to put a dot of glue in there. Oops, comes out so fast. I'm going to push that back. I'm going to go to the other side. I'm going to peel it up. Put a dot of glue and push it down. No glue is seeping out, which is a good thing. If you're doing hot glue, you can sort of push it like this, and while it's drying you can shape your flower a little bit. This glue is going to take a little while to dry, so I'll push it a little bit, but and don't get glue on the front of your flower. And there is a flower. So this one is huge. Much bigger than these. Isn't that beautiful though? Doesn't it make you feel like springtime is here? So thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. Bye.